I didn't get that set up.
Oh.
Earbud.
Live.
Uh-oh. I messed something up.
What do you got? Facebook pulled up, or what do you think?
I got Facebook. I don't see Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't see TikTok.
No, he said he's got something messed up.
We
I got
should be
TikTok.
ready to go.
Well, I think I messed up.
So these recording.
I think I messed up. Oh no, it says I'm live on Instagram. We're good. We're good. All right, how we doing, everybody? This is Hack Nation Live. I'm your host, Aaron Bennett, coming to you every Wednesday night, at least all the Wednesday nights that I can, from 7 to 9 Central Time. Tonight, I have special guest tonight, Worldwide Diesel out of Michigan. We have Diesel Beast in the house, and we have his little brother Joe.
Absolutely.
Anyway, who I fondly call Jomo. Out of Michigan.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Anyway, who I fondly call Jomo.
We're way behind.
Yeah, you guys are way behind, and you got to turn that down. You guys are feeding back pretty hard if you can. If you can't, it is what it is. We'll just deal with it. Again, guys, how you doing? I'm sure. What's the number to call? Okay, so the number to call in, guys. This is a call-in centric show where we encourage the callers and the viewers to be part of the show. If you're watching on TikTok, we encourage you to go over to Facebook or YouTube to watch this. You can see the guests that we have on, a little bit more interactive over there. You're more than welcome to join us from TikTok, of course, but it's just a little more interactive over there. The number to call in, guys, is 573-422-4225. That's 573-422-4225. Joe, does Diesel Beast have enough snacks to make it through this session, or do we need to take an intermission at the top of the hour?
Probably an intermission. We got
you guys just let me know. If you guys don't know who Worldwide Diesel is, they are a engine, kind of an engine manufacturing place, so to speak. You guys, you can correct me if I'm wrong in my introduction here, but Worldwide, they source blocks from all over the United States and wherever they get them from. And they offer long blocks and long block pluses ready to go to drop into your truck. They specialize in the DD15 platform. If you guys have followed me for any length of time, you've probably heard me call them out quite a few times, where if I'm doing a DD15, they're usually going to be my go-to. I'm going to get a drop in from them. Quite honestly, I can get a long block plus from them for a better price than I can build it my goddamn self. I don't know how they pull that off, but the fact that they do is convenient for me. If you guys are in need of a drop-in engine, especially a DD15, which there's not a lot of sources for DD15s. Kind of one of the worst things about owning a DD15 is if it shits the bed, boy, you're pretty much fucked. And I think more people need to know about these guys. They are the answer to the DD15. I really think they need to get into doing the PACCARs too, but can't seem to talk them into doing that. They need to offer that same thing for a PACCAR. And why don't you guys go after the PACCAR? You have such a niche in the market with that DD15.
Yeah, well, the PACCAR, we just really haven't tooled up for it. We stay pretty busy with our DD15s and do a lot of M14s and all the ISXs. So really, we don't really have time to do the PACCAR and retool for it. We're doing what
literature
we do.
And how I mean, you guys really sell that many DD15s?
Well, that, and then also we sell a lot of good used engines too to fill in the slot.
Yeah, and another thing, guys, is I've sourced a lot of turning cores from Worldwide Diesel when I customer comes in and he's got an engine that's just not usable. In the past, I've sourced quite a few turning cores from Worldwide. They're a great source for that. Couple people in the comments saying they're great people. That has also been my experience, so they probably wouldn't be on this show. Just saying. I've had good experiences with them guys for sure. PACCAR is a no-go. My Tommy says my D13 Volvo came from them. Yeah, they're great to work with. So, and we've had some problems with our shipping companies. You guys worked with us on that too. So, it's always been a good experience all the way around with Worldwide. I have no complaints anyway. Guys, the number to call in is 573-422-4225. Again, we got the Worldwide boys on here. If you guys have any questions for them, especially DD15 related ones, they might be able to answer questions I'm never able to. That'd be nice for once.
We
But
we can definitely answer a lot of DD15 questions, especially when it comes to the building end.
okay, so I got one. Why do they suck?
I no one ever said we didn't say that. We like the DD15 building.
I'm just kidding. You guys have heard me say a million times that they are they've proven themselves. They're easily a 1,000,000-mile engine. And no one can deny that about them. So we got quite a few callers, guys. Let's go ahead and take some of them and see what we got going on out there. We got Jim. What can we do for you, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Hit us with it.
I got a 06 Kenworth T600 with a C15 MXS cat in it, and last Wednesday let my truck warm up, get ready to go to work, and started heading down the road. Noticed it was kind of sluggish, it was kind of cold, but I noticed it was kind of sluggish. Ended up getting about 15 minutes from the house. Oil pressure light came on. Pulled over to the store. I had this happen to me one time before. The first time it happened on my Peterbilt, it was just the oil filter. So I went and bought an oil filter and the oil pressure sensor, switched it out. Didn't do nothing. Ended up taking it to the shop. First thing the guy told me, he changed the oil and did all that, everything I did. Took it to the shop. First thing he told me was to go ahead and buy oil pump, rod and main bearings. Bought everything, put it in, still didn't work. Checked my oil cooler. He checked some of everything. And still the oil pressure is 10 to 15 PSI. And we about to the point we running out of ideas. I'm trying to see if you can help me figure out why I don't have oil pressure.
Well, so what did your rods and mains look like that you took out?
I took pictures of them. All of them was really, the truck was rebuilt last year. I want to say last year, either the year before. I bought it from the guy, my father-in-law. He drove it after he rebuilt it maybe 6 months, and it sat for another 6 months. And I ended up buying it this year. So when he pulled out the rods and mains, only I seen one set had maybe like a little wear, but it wasn't nothing major. All the rest of them had looked good. Everything looked good.
Okay, so you've lost oil pressure. Your rods and mains look good. You've eliminated it being in the lower end, so obviously you need to go up to the top end and look at all the bearings in the camshaft and all of your valve train stuff. I mean, that's the only place left to go. You change the pump.
And when I went to the shop Saturday, they pretty much had the whole. I don't think they took the cam out, but I know they pretty much had. They damn near had the head off of it. They took everything, the Jake brakes and injector. They took everything out. They was looking over everything, and still can't find a reason why the oil pressure is low. Now, I don't know if they took the cam out yet, but I did went up there and they had everything tore down on the top end.
A sudden drop in oil pressure has got to be caused by some kind of bearing issue. You should have seen something in the oil pan. When, you know, unfortunately, I don't have enough information here, but whoever dropped the pan on that should have seen something in that oil pan. This is a cat, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There wasn't anything in the oil pan at all. No metal of any kind.
No matter, no matter in the oil pan. I think he cut the oil filter open. No metal, nothing in the oil filter. I do my maintenance on the truck. I use T6 Rotator. I do everything. Change the oil every 15,000 miles. So everything had looked good once he dropped the oil pan to cut the oil pan or the oil filter over, and there wasn't no metal in it.
Well, I mean, honestly, if there's no metal at all, and you just have a loss of oil pressure, there's got to be something more simple going on. Which, here's some of the simple things. Your pickup tube O-rings can cause a massive loss of suction if they're compromised. Hopefully they did new ones when they put your oil pump on, but it's highly possible they did not. They could have been compromised from the beginning.
I did have bought some. I ordered my oil pump from HHP, and when I ordered it from HHP, I got the new pump, the new pickup tool seals, gaskets and seals.
Yeah,
I got everything.
There's a valid comment reoccurring in the comment section. Has anybody hooked up a manual gauge to check the pressure?
Yes, I sat there and watched them.
They
hooked up the manual gauge to it.
They've hooked the manual gauge into the oil rifle.
Yeah, yes, no, not to over there to the oil pressure sensor right there behind the fuel filter on the driver's side. That's where they hooked it up to.
They took the oil pressure sensor out of the. They took the oil pressure sensor out and hooked it up right there.
I don't think he took it out. It was another plug right there. He plugged his gauge up into and checked it like that.
Yep, there is a plug right there that a guy can put that in. And the gauge matches what's on the dash.
Yep, it was 10 to 15.
Everybody keeps saying the oil bypass, but the bypass valve would cause you to have a drop in oil pressure. Every time you start a cat, it's bypassing, and it's not going to affect your oil pressure. If anything, it would give you better oil pressure, not worse oil pressure, if it was bypassing all the time. So I don't know off the top of my head, man. But you have it at a shop. They're just going to have to dig deeper. But because you didn't find any metal, that kind of limits what it can be. If you have something going on up in the valve train where it's able to pass a shit ton of oil, which, did they ever run it with the valve covers off before they tore this whole thing down? They might have been able
I don't know.
Yeah, it probably would be wise to do an oil sample.
Okay.
But anyway, man, there's just not enough to go on there to, give you a definitive answer. So, what about you, Worldwide Boys? You got anything brewing in your noggins?
I was thinking the same thing. Hook a manual gauge up to it and make sure that that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, they said. He's already said that it matches manual to the electronic gauge.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. You're just gonna have to, unfortunately, have them dig into it deeper till they figure it out. But
Okay.
you know, I don't know.
Okay.
Good luck with that
I
one,
appreciate it.
I suppose.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Bye. I mean, I don't know. I find it hard to believe we have low oil pressure. We're not seeing signs of anything. If we're not seeing signs of anything, it almost has to be in the upper end, or the oil rifle itself cracked or something like that. But that's so unlikely.
He said they almost have it completely tore apart except for the head, right?
Yeah, I mean, he might have spun a cam bearing, you know. Anyway. That guy kind of threw me for a loop there. Let's go ahead and go to back to the callers here. Get somebody else on here. David with a BXS. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
I've got a 05 379 BXS Cat that is giving me problems. It under light load, it will spit and sputter, blow smoke out the stacks like crazy, and smells like raw diesel fuel. I have put a manual pressure gauge on the fuel PSI, got 90 PSI at an idle, 110 to 120 at like 1700 RPM. I have put the clear sight tube on the return line coming out of the back of the head. Have no air coming out of there. All the injectors have been replaced with new Reman Cat injectors. Thought at first it was to do with the IVAs. I have unhooked all of those, and it will still do it with those unhooked, unplugged under the valve cover. Have all new external and internal wiring harnesses on the whole engine, and I have also tried a different ECM off another truck.
Which cat was it?
BXS.
BXS Cat.
Mm-hmm. And your fuel pressure's fine?
Got 90 to 120. 90 at an idle, 120 at like 1700 RPM.
Have you changed the supply and return check line valves?
No, I haven't changed them, but I pulled them out and looked at them, and I was assuming that it
Did you clean them while you
that
had
they
them
had
out?
good pressure. Yeah, I mean they were clean as could be when I had them out.
It takes such a minute.
But it will only do it. It will only do it under a light load. If you're pulling a big hill loaded, 55 pounds of boost, pulls like crazy, idle's fine. It's only when it's just, I've got a hydraulic belt trailer on it. And if you just start barely loading the engine with the hydraulics, is wanted to start doing it. Or when you're driving down the road, say you turn on the gravel road and you're just driving along at a certain speed, not really gaining any speed or losing any, just kind of maintaining speed, is the only time it does it. I've also unhooked the cam sensor and the crank sensor one at a time to make it run on one or the other to see if either one of those was the problem.
I'll be honest with you, it sounds like an injector. That's what it sounds like.
But I got all new ones. And it was doing it before, and it's still, unless I've got one of the bad ones and one of the good ones are the same. You know what I'm saying?
Getting all new ones from Cat kind of doesn't guarantee that you're not going to have a bad one. Actually, getting all new ones from anyone, you got to.
Yeah.
The BXS is how old now?
Yeah.
20 years old, and any reman, any reman injector you bought for that, it might be the 20th time it's been reman right at this point, right? And the odds of getting like a bad injector that's new is almost better than you having, like let's say you're doing a rebuild. I advise guys all the time, if you're not having problems with the injectors, just to leave the ones that are in there and let's not put new ones in, because I don't want to deal with the warranty bullshit when one of them's no good, right?
Yeah.
I would certainly go back to the beginning.
Another thing too,
when it started this, I ran the injector test, the Cat ET, the 4-cylinder one, and it come up number 3 injector questionable.
That means it's
So that's
bad.
when I decided, well, we'll just put new injectors in it. So I put a whole new set of injectors in it, and then upon pulling the injectors, the bottom O-ring, not the very bottom, I guess you'd call it the middle, not the little bitty one, but the bottom big one, was broke on cylinder 1. So I thought, well, we got this figured out. Questionable injector, broke O-ring, and it's doing the same exact thing after putting the injectors in as it was doing.
Right. You could have had an installation error, right? There could be another broke O-ring. There's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you could have had one bad out of the
If
box.
I had a broke O-ring, would have had air in the fuel?
Not necessarily. You could have one
Not
bad
necessarily.
out of the box, which is incredibly likely, unfortunately. But it sounds, and then here's the other thing. There's a comment on TikTok that's super valid. Your injector harness could be causing all these problems. Could have been causing the problem from the beginning, so to speak.
But he said that was new.
Yeah. It was new in March, and that's why I haven't. Of course, I know new parts go bad as well, but I mean, it was just put in March, and while I had the injectors out, I looked at it all and didn't see it wasn't rubbing anywhere or anything like that I could see.
Last but not least, it could also be your throttle position sensor. And that's why it's only happening in a certain spot.
Well, and this is why I don't think it's that. Like, I had it doing it yesterday as I was pulling in the driveway, and I just kept my foot in the same spot and reached over and popped it out of gear without taking my foot off of it, and it immediately cleared up and quit. That's what's throwing everybody around me and everybody I've talked to for a loop.
Sounds like a bad injector.
It will only do it after that.
It really does.
Okay.
Sounds like a bad injector. I would look really hard at maybe changing the harness, and I would definitely be doing another injector cutout test.
Yeah.
I have done several since, and I've done 3 or 4 4-cylinder cutout tests since the injectors have been put in, and it passes every one.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing with the injectors, and I don't know if you have an injector like that, would it be a viable option to pull all 6 out and maybe take them to like a injector place and find somewhere maybe where they could test them? Because I mean, I don't necessarily think Cat's going to give me 6 more, and I don't know which one it is without ET telling me something.
Fuck it, you could verify one of them is bad, and they're not going to do shit for you anyway. Neither here nor there. That injector test that you do through ET is actually very, very, very reliable.
Okay.
If it's telling you they're all good, they're probably all good, and you need to look elsewhere.
Okay.
People are saying tuning and this and that, but you tried different ECM and this and that. I don't think it's anything.
I've tried different ECMs and 3 different tunes at this point. I mean, it's been like a 2-month project of trying to figure it out. And I also checked, just for giggles, I checked, both turbos spin free, no oil in the CAC. Nothing like that, which, I mean, naturally you would think you would have a boost loss, there, but I can't find anything else, so why not check the easy stuff?
Yeah, the one last place I would probably look at, man, other than the harness, is there's a couple of sensors that could be causing this problem. So when you're at low boost, it might not be reading correctly to the ECM because the sensor could be gummed up, and they do gum up pretty bad. That's your boost pressure sensor. Your intake air temp sensor can also cause you same kind of problems, and they won't throw a fault code of any kind, right? Your barometric.
No, it will never throw a code or anything.
Right, but what I'm saying is this could be
Yeah.
your
Oh yeah.
boost pressure sensor, and it won't throw a code because there's nothing wrong with it. It just isn't able to read what the actual air pressure is, especially at the low RPM, because you're not putting a lot of boost to it.
I've actually put ET on. I mean, I think I've eliminated the sensors because I've actually put ET on the dash, drove it with it doing it, and watched.
But,
The minimum, the maximum, and what it's reading.
No, I understand, but
Okay.
it might not be reading correctly, right? And so it thinks that it has X amount of boost, and so it's fueling for X amount of boost, and it actually has way more or way less because the diaphragm's so gummed up at this point. That boost pressure sensor just runs on a little diaphragm that senses how hard it's being pushed on, and they get full of soot. Your barometric pressure sensor operates exactly the same. I think if you can't figure out any other cause,
I unplugged the barometric pressure and run it with it just unplugged with it throwing a code, and it still did it. I do know that. Now I haven't tried to unplug the boost and drive it to see.
I mean, I wouldn't do that. I would just throw a new one on there. It doesn't hurt anything. They're not very expensive.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, I mean, I was just trying. At the same time, I had a Ranger. The coolant temperature sensor went bad on the Polaris Ranger, and it got me to thinking. I was like, well, if I unplug it, then it can't be bouncing around as far as reading. It should run, even if it derates, it should run default to something and run.
Yeah. I don't know. You guys are hitting me with hard ones tonight.
Would Cat ET be able to run tests for him?
Well, I mean,
What's that, Joe?
We don't have Cat ET here in house, but I got a comment saying put Cat ET on it and do all the tests.
Yeah, I think he's kind of already done all that.
I'm kind of like you. I didn't know how reliable the injector test was in Cat ET, but if that test is very reliable, then I'm kind of like you. Maybe harnesses.
Yeah,
Do you think internal harnesses more than external?
100%. If it was in my shop, the first thing I would probably do is change the boost pressure sensor and see if that fixes everything. It certainly could. There's such a good chance of that
Try those
fixing
couple of
everything.
stencils.
The thing about it being the harness is
the
thing about it being in the harness, it will almost always throw a code. It's not guaranteed, but it will almost always throw a code. If it's a sensor, it's not going to throw a code.
Okay. I'm getting absolutely no codes. But and that's why we tried a different ECM. The funny thing was when I unplugged the cam sensor, it won't throw a code as far as won't throw the check engine light on the dash on, but it will throw a code in ET. But you can use the cruise buttons, Peterbilt, turn the cruise off and hold the set button, and it will give you the blink code saying that the cam sensor is unplugged, but the check engine light will never come up. After it gives you the sensors, whatever the blink code is for the cam sensor, it goes back out. Well, that's why we were thinking, well, maybe something crazy in the ECM's going on, but
Nah.
We tried another one that didn't work. So
it has more than one way to read, so it'll run.
Okay. Yeah.
All right,
brother. All right. Well, those are all good ideas, and I'll try that stuff tomorrow. And I really appreciate your time, and glad you're doing the show for people like me.
Well, good luck with that one, brother. Sorry I couldn't help more.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Good lordy, we got a lot of callers. Anyway, how are you fellas doing over there? Are you guys okay? It looks like we're just playing on our phone.
Yeah, we're doing all right. I can't believe the lag that we have.
I told you it'd be like that.
It's a little adjustment trying to get used to it.
Well, grab some snacks, boys. We're just getting started.
We got 'em.
All right. We have Arthur Noonley. At least that's what it says. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Yes, sir. Sergeant Nunley. I just wanted to get clarification. I saw one of your videos earlier today. It had something to do with your, I guess, not being in the agreement with the parts manufacturer, but I couldn't find the whole video explaining what was going on. That's all I wanted to know.
I guess I don't understand exactly what you're asking me.
Like the video cut off. You said there was a bunch of confusion about you and Heavy Highway Parts not working together anymore. It had something to do with, the product that you say you're getting and the product that you're actually getting. At least that's what I understood from watching it. The video didn't finish, and I couldn't find a whole video on the explanation in the video. You were saying about not being able, you had to break your agreement with HHP or something like that.
Yeah, it's obviously a whole story there, but I spent 10 months working my ass off to get something to market with them. And we were working with all kinds of manufacturers, and there was lots of cool, exciting things going on. But once it finally came down to the end where we were getting products that were finished products, really what it turned into was, I'd sit down at the table with them and it would be, here's what we're going to release. And it was never, what we talked about. And the only things that were getting released that I approved of were things that I was making in-house, like the turbos. We were doing those in-house, the ones we put on their site. All of the other items that we were supposed to have out months ago, I kept keeping them from coming to market because they weren't never what we agreed that we were going to come out with. They were inferior products, or they didn't meet any kind of standard. And, and there was comments thrown around like, we're going to make you rich, and that kind of stuff just bothers me, man. Nobody makes me rich. I'm a self-made man, and you're certainly not going to pressure me to sell shit that I can't look in and you look at my audience with a clear conscience and say, hey, this is the best of the best, just because you tell me you're going to make me rich. Go fuck yourself, right? So ultimately it ended up turning into this decision that I had to make where I was either going to take all of my integrity and flush it down a toilet, or I was going to break my agreement and just go my own way. And so I broke my agreement and went my own way. There is a couple of 100 kits that got made that we were supposed to release, and I had to walk away from it. I refused to put my name on it because the product doesn't do what's promised, and it's a premium product that it's a couple $1,000 extra that this person would have to spend to buy this product, to put it in their truck, and it doesn't do what it's promised to do. It literally fails. It fails in the real world. So I had to make a choice: either pretend like I didn't know that, lie to everybody so I could make some money, or have some integrity and walk away. And so I decided to walk away.
Okay, so you don't work with them at all, like for like the kits or anything like that. You just don't have your line, like your custom coded, or you still work with them for like your engine kits and all of that stuff.
No, we've sourced stuff from other places. That's kind of the thing that makes me mad about all this is we did all kinds of R&D, all kinds of testing, all kinds of, and I paid a lot of money and hired professional people, and we're working away. We're figuring out all the like, here I am testing everybody's liners and figuring out who has the best liners. And then when it comes down to it, it's like, well, who gives a fuck who has the best liner? Here's what we're going to use, right? Or who has the best piston? Well, who gives a fuck who has the best piston? This is what we're going to use, right? So all the research and development that we did in the end just turned into who gives a fuck. This is about making money, right? And I had to walk away from it, man. I had to walk away from it.
Okay,
so
yeah,
so
I
we're going to release our own kit in 2.5-3 weeks. That is going to contain
Okay.
components. The people are working really hard to get us our own branded stuff, but in the meantime, we're using the best of those components that were supposed to be used in the beginning, and we're coding all the kits and doing everything right here in house.
Wow. Okay.
We have
Oh.
there's probably 50 people, different people in different capacities that are working their asses off to help us get products to market that match our original vision.
Okay. Okay. So all the kits are going to be still new content when you do a rebuild and so on and so forth. It's all still going to be new content.
Yep.
As far as piston, right? Okay.
The only difference is we're doing it all internally, like the turbo line that I just made for videos on our turbo line. We sourced turbos quite some time ago, and I ended up we ended up selling them off as prototypes and went with Borg Warner and Garrett, right? Which I love both of those turbos, but the price points on them are out of this world. So it's just a huge relief to just go back to where we started and use the product, go back to the people and source all the products that we should have sourced from the beginning, start over fresh. But it's a race to get something to market because we promised people stuff for 10 months. And that was also one of the big rubs is I did 10 months worth of hardcore marketing for these guys and they gave me nothing.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you clearing that up for me, and I appreciate the honesty because you just don't find that out here. And if you could walk away from something like that, I could stand behind that 100,000. So that's why when I see that you do your videos, you don't just talk, and you're out here telling us that you had to walk away from something like that. It means a lot in the trucking industry. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you clearing that up for me.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment. I'll be honest with you. It rubbed me so wrong when I have this billionaire telling me he's going to make me rich. I'm just like, thanks, but no thanks. Right? That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention.
Well, I do appreciate it.
Yep. All right, man. I appreciate the kind words you have.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't want to hold you long, but
no, you're good.
I know like those now that I can trust. I live in Connecticut, and I know anything major that I need to get done. I know where I'm going. I send everybody down to you that I know. So you have a good night.
Thank you, sir. You too.
All right.
We're talking
That's
to
not
the
what
worldwide
this, becoming rich
What's
isn't
that?
what we do this for. I mean, that's.
So when that guy said that to me, I stopped the meeting and I was like, first of all, I'm not poor. I'm not poor. You're talking to the wrong guy. I'm not looking for a lottery ticket. I don't go play the lottery, right? Because I'm not looking for a lottery ticket. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're gonna make me rich. Get out of here. So all of it is just so fucked up. It really is. I was like sidelined. I'm supposed to be the focal here, and we're having all these meetings, and there's all these big corporate guys, and I'm over here in the corner saying, but your guys' process is fucked up. right? Like how the process that we're doing is fucked up. Like the product's not right. There's like and so eventually I had to that's what that R&D was for. That R&D was me and of course I'd let all these guys know. I'm like, I'm going to make public that these aren't right. And so I made that, because we'd already done it. We'd already done it in secret, and we'd already had all the results. And so I was like, I'm going to do one in public. And so we did an R&D, and we showed everybody. I saw them scrambling, doing a lot of things, including changing stuff on their websites when they saw my video come out. So they know, but it is what it is. It does. What matters is what we do going forward, right? And what we're going to do going forward is deliver on what we promised on. We're already doing about 200,000 a day in sales. That will probably triple. We have 5 people in our call center, and we're missing 160 to 200 phone calls a day. That's how many people are calling us every day, buying parts from us. We're delivering in a big way. So I think I made the right choice anyway. Anyway, you guys ready to go back to the callers, or?
Let's take it.
All right. I'm calling to get some information on Cummins. I don't see a name. Devin, it looks like. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Good evening. How y'all gentlemen doing?
Good, brother. What can we do for you?
Hello? Oh, man, I want to get a perspective from engine builders, per se, on different engines, man. I started off, I'm a young owner operator. I started off with a Cummins ISX 2350. It did me good for a little while. I got about 820,000 miles out of it, 33,000 hours. Then, everybody, the guys around me I've seen be successful. They run these CATs, these 60 series, N14s, motors like that. And, they tell me they shy away from that a little bit. And I've heard these horror stories, guys spend $25,000, $30,000 rebuilding their engine, and it don't hold, it don't last. They don't get 50 or 100,000 miles out of it. Dealing with these Cummins, they call them coming for all this. What in real world experience are you seeing that you can put back together and it's gonna last a small guy like me running 1 to 2 trucks? What's going to last? What's best to invest in my business?
Got the counter bores.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, your ISXs is what he's referring to. They tend to actually do better on the rebuild. And that's kind of what he's saying. I'm assuming that, Cummins sets them so low from the factory that they tend to fail sooner. From what I've seen personally is that not deleted Cummins last substantially longer. Ones that are highly maintained absolutely last substantially longer. If the EGR is still working on them and a guy maintains the EGR, it's very likely they'll go 1,000,000 miles. That's what I've seen. There might be all kinds of people that disagree with that. But I build hundreds of them a year, literally. And I can tell you that there is a stark pattern to guys that leave the EGRs intact and regularly maintain them. Every 100, 150,000 miles, they have them cleaned. Those guys unequivocally are the ones that you're going to almost guarantee you're going to get 1,000,000 miles out of them. Guys that are willing to invest in a good intake and a good exhaust also dramatically increase their chances of getting high mileage out of those Cummins, for sure.
We rebuild the Cummins. Issues with it. We do cut the counter bores on the Cummins. As far as that, like Aaron said, they're over 1,000,000 miles. If you have preventative maintenance, take care of the EGR, clean all that, just like on any of the EGR emissions engines. Cleaning that stuff, definitely, if you ever go into a Cummins, cut the counter bores on it. Bring it back up.
What do you guys cut them to?
We stay to OEM specs at 12,000s.
Yeah, us too. I see a lot of guys still going to 14, but Yeah, I haven't had anything negative happen from going to 12. I haven't seen any less life, and I think that Cummins decided to go to 12 because 14 was actually accelerating the wear on them. I'm almost
Too much
positive
stress.
that was what was going on. Yep, too much stress.
I don't think we've
So
ever. Yeah.
that brings up. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do. We've never built one at 14. Everything that we've built has been 12,000s.
Okay, so I guess my question would be: so y'all said leave the EGR, the DEF system. Cause I'm talking about the 2350. Y'all believe in leaving all that stuff intact. The way I was taught, you got to get rid of that stuff.
Yep, but it is very, very, very hard on them.
So it's better to put the soot and all that stuff through the motor, and it's better to put all that through it's healthier for that engine.
You're gonna have soot no matter what. You have combustion, you have soot.
See, that's why I'm asking these questions. To me, that's where I begun to have my problems with. I start having emissions problems, and you keep taking it to the dealership, and it's a never-ending thing. It never does get fixed. So it puts a guy like me in a position where I have to get rid of that stuff to maintain.
I can't give you any advice on deleting an engine. All right, so I would never tell you to delete an engine, obviously. But I can tell you that the only emission item I am talking about that is crucial to the longevity of the engine is the EGR. The DEF system does nothing to enhance the longevity of the engine. The DPF filter does nothing to enhance the longevity of the engine. It's just that EGR. That EGR is designed to introduce exhaust gas into the combustion chamber right before combustion. And the reason it does that is that it lowers the combustion temperature by 20%, which eliminates, not just reduces, it literally eliminates NOx emission, which is the goal. Now, whether or not I agree with NOx emissions and it being a problem is totally besides the point. I mean, I could give a fuck about, I don't think it does anything for the environment, but that's not the point. The point is what it's designed to do. That engine is designed to run 20% cooler. When you delete the EGR, it raises the internal temperature by 20% and increases the pressure inside. It accelerates how fast your liners walk around. It raises the temperature substantially, which causes more wear, more walk, and it tends to crack out the head. That's what fucks them up from deleting them. It has nothing to do with your DPF or your, the diesel exhaust fluid, the DEF system, and all that.
Yeah, I ain't know that. I ain't had nobody explain it to me like that before.
So, I mean, but to answer your original question, you were kind of asking which engine should I go with. There's nothing wrong with the ISX platform's a good platform because even though they tend to wear out a little sooner than the rest of them, they're a very affordable platform to overhaul. You just got to find the right guys to do it.
Okay. And from a longevity standpoint, you feel like they all last about the same, comparing to after a rebuild, all that is going to be similar when you're comparing, let's say 2350 ISXs, Detroit Series 60s, DDEC 3, 4, 5, whatever, N14s, and your Caterpillar engines. I'm trying to.
They're all gonna last as long as you're willing to do the maintenance.
Okay. That was what I needed to know.
All right, brother. Good luck out there, okay?
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
All right, man.
Question in the comment section for you boys. Where was that at? How much can I turn my DD15 up to horsepower-wise?
We say OEM specs on that should be 565 on the top end.
Is there anything that you can do to enhance the performance of a DD15?
Why DD15s perform really good.
We got a DD15 pulling 200,000 pounds out there daily.
on a 450 economy tune.
So the DD15 that I bought from you guys hauls regularly between 150 and 200,000 pound bridge beams. And it does it all day long and does a really good job. I know it's capable of it, but what I'm asking is there performance manifolds and performance turbos for those? The answer is actually yes. There are performance manifolds and performance turbos for those. And we also sell a coded kit for those. And I've been waiting for Worldwide to give me a call and be like, yo, hey, Aaron, send us one of them coded kits so we can get down with the brown frown. But apparently, we don't get down like that. Send snacks.
On your next build, we'll build it with your kit.
That's what I'm talking about. I bet you guys would sell more of them. Anyhow, let's see here. We'll get back to the callers. A lot of people are asking what the number to call in is, so we'll give it out here. We still have an hour in a little bit. So the number to call in, guys, is 573-422-4225. If you're watching on TikTok, we encourage you to go over to Facebook or YouTube and catch us over there. You'll be able to see the guests, Joe and Mr. Long. What's your first name? Joel, right? Oh,
What's your
yeah.
first name?
No,
Jason.
I can't remember.
Jason.
I'm Jason.
Jason?
Jason.
Diesel Beast is how I know him, so you'll have to forgive me, okay? Joe and Jason, if you want to see them, you got to go watch us over there. Anyway, guys, let's get back to the callers here. Surge a drivetrain. I don't... Surge in drivetrain, maybe? No name, but you're on the air. What can we do for you?
Hey man, so on my Freightliner, it's like when I'm pulling a hill, right, and I get like when I'm lugging the engine, I get this little shutter that comes and goes and everything. Once I reach the RPMs, and it kind of goes away. If I'm loaded, it's not really there and everything. Is that normal, or is that like something about to give?
It's not normal, and it's most likely in the drivetrain. It sounds like carrier bearing or U-joint. You need to roll underneath that truck as soon as you can and put your hands on that drive line and lift up on it and see if anything moves. If anything moves at all, nothing should move at all. Your output shaft on the transmission should not move. The yoke should not move. The carrier bearing will move slightly, but it certainly shouldn't be moving all around. Every single one of those U-joints needs to be tight. If any of those are off, you're going to get exactly what you're talking about. All the way to the input to the forward differential, the output on the forward differential to the input on the rear differential, and the slip yoke in between those two. None of that can have any slop in it, or you're going to feel all kinds of vibration, especially at when you're pulling hard or low RPM, stuff like that. As you go faster, centrifugal force will tend to smooth those things out.
Okay. I know I did the carrier bearing not too long ago, so that's new and everything.
Okay, so if you had a carrier bearing go out, the odds of you having other stuff that got its ass kicked because you had a bad carrier bearing are incredibly high. So you probably have more stuff in the drivetrain that's bad.
Like a U-joint or a loose
Something.
yoke or
Yep.
something like that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool.
All
I
right,
appreciate
brother.
it, man.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys. I just had to take that one. What happened to the beast?
He ran. I think he had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, my God. He ate so
He
many snacks, he already
disappeared.
had to take a shit.
He had all these snacks.
Does a compressor cause blow-by on a C15? The answer is it can. It's not likely. Your check valve can also cause a lot of blow-by, but it's not likely. If you're having blow by on a C15, it's most likely has something to do with a liner getting wore out or a ring or something. Using a gallon at 10,000 miles, gallon at 10,000 miles, if you don't have any leaks at all, certainly could be signs of an engine that's getting wore out or something like that. Anyway, that was in the comment section there. Again, Joe, if there's any comments you want to comment on, you just have to speak up. I'll just, like I told you in the beginning, I'll just keep railroading you to keep the show moving here.
Yep.
Over here to the callers, we got Lucas Perry. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Yes. Work on any of the smaller Cummins, like the 5.9.
We do a lot of 5.9s, but only if they're industrial. When we were in North Dakota, we used to do them all the time. They'd be in sprayers and all kinds of different farm equipment, but I am pretty familiar with them. I've owned 5.9s as well in my pickup. So what do you got?
I've got a Dodge truck here. It's got a 5.9 common rail, and it's developed a rattling knock that will increase in loudness. It'll get quieter for a little bit. Sometimes it'll go away. Not coming up with any metal in the oil. I'm kind of thinking that I may have an injector or two going out on it. I've done a cutout test on it, and the knock still presents. I've done, I took the fuel away from the injectors one at a time and blocked the fuel log off for that injector. Noise still presents on all cylinders from 1 through 6. But I can take a bar and put on the fuel tube going to the injectors, and 1 through 3 will be clicking like they should. But when you get to number 4, it sounds like a real deep knock coming out of that fuel tube. And then when you go to 5 and 6, it's a lighter tone of a knock, but it's not a click.
Yeah, that sounds like a fuel knock.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was wondering, because I noticed on the exhaust manifold I was having.
You're cutting in and out so bad, we can't really catch what you're saying.
I said on the exhaust manifold on ports 4, 5, and 6, it's showing that it's getting a little wet coming from the gaskets. And I'm starting to show a little bit of moisture at the gasket between the manifold and the turbocharger itself. But cylinders 1 through 3 are completely dry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you kind of already know what's going on. You have a bad injector.
Okay. I didn't know if it was just one or if I.
That's hard to tell. That's hard to tell, but it sounds like you know number 3 is bad.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That's kind of what I was needing to know. Like I said, this a little bit newer than what I'm used to working on.
I mean, I would probably at least replace all 3, and if your budget allows, I'd just do them all.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I hate to do 3 and then turn around and be back in there next week or so doing the other 3.
Yep.
So, okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for doing the show, helping people out.
Have a good night, brother. Good luck.
Yep, you too.
Oh, fucking TikTok. Gotta make sure I'm not
That's
a robot.
I was thinking is something with the fuel knot.
We were just dealing with a similar problem in here. We have a B model in here. We just got through doing a major out of frame overhaul on. We redid the pump, redid everything on it. It had a really bad knock, and the guys over there trying to figure it out, and they reran the rack, and they're pulled a couple push rods, and they're checking those. And I was like, has anybody cracked the fuel line to see if this is just a fuel knock? And I went over and cracked number 6, and the problem immediately went away. It's like, dudes, come on. So it ended up being the nozzle in number 6, which is obviously much preferable to all the other things it could have been. Can we get a contact number for you, Joe?
Contact number for me at the shop here, 269-462-9260.
Yep.
Gotta
Slow down. 269
462-9260.
Okay. That's okay. Now we can read it.
Yep, that's perfect.
Worldwide. Okay, I'm sharing it in the comment section as well. Can't read that, by the way. Blurry guy. You have to back her up a little bit.
Back her up, boss.
There you
man.
go. All right. Let's get back to the callers. Well, wait a minute. What'd that say? What should I pay for a head gasket on a Series 60? Just for the gasket? I don't know. Couple $200, $300. Does Joe do the shop updates at Worldwide?
Say that again.
Who does the shop updates over there?
Well, on the Joseph at Worldwide Diesel TikTok platform, that'd be me. Diesel Beast, that's Boss. And then we have a new company account, Worldwide Diesel, that would be Boss Lady Kathleen.
Oh.
So we got.
I see Kathleen is in. I see Kathleen's in the comment section there. All right, let's go back to the callers. We got John with a 6NZ. What can we do for you, brother? Did you die?
Is it me?
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight?
Amazing. What can we do for you?
Hey, I got a 6NZ. I got 1,200,000 on it, and I try to do preventive maintenance. What turbo are you running now? I know you swap stuff around and all that. I wanted to do a turbo and a manifold.
We have a company out of Arizona that's making our turbos now. Really excited about them. They make some really nice stuff.
Do you have them in stock now?
Yes, sir. We have about 50 here, and we have about 30 of them in Michigan.
Yeah, this is a 2015 W9 with a 6NZ in it. I bought it brand new, and that turbo, like I said, it's got 1,200,000 miles. My injector is still the same thing. I hadn't replaced either one of them. I had a head gasket blow at 400-some thousand. They said the cylinder board was cut wrong, so they did a just internal and stuff. But I'm just trying to prevent the maintenance. That's why I was wanting to talk about about a turbo and stuff.
Yeah, we have a stock turbo. It's coated, of course. We don't really have anything stock, but we have what would be a stock replacement turbo. We have a stage 1 turbo and a stage 2 turbo. Your stage 1 is a 78 millimeter 132 AR, and then that's got the 360 billet wheel. cartridge in it, and then we have a stage 2 78 millimeter 145. Now, if you just have a stock 6NZ, that stock turbo is going to do you just fine.
The stage 1.
Well, it would stock 6NZ, if it's set to a 550, will push a stage 1 turbo. That will work. I wouldn't recommend a stage 2, but a stage 1 would definitely work. But you know, your stock turbo, which is right under that, will also work pretty good. You probably see, 28, 30 pounds of boost on a stock turbo, and you could see as high as 40 on a stage 1.
Right. I do about 20, about 75. I run about 28, 29 right now. I mean, it's still, and that's like I said, I've blown turbos before. Now, at this day and age, it will probably cost about $10,000. Can you pay a record bill and get into a shop and all that? So I just try to do preventive maintenance before it happens.
Yeah, I mean, hit us
And
up. We
that's
have
where
I mean, if you're asking for a recommendation, you've had really good luck with stock turbo so far. Just go back with a brand new stock turbo. It's very affordable. The one if you were getting one from us, it's going to be ceramic coated, both hot and cold sides of the housings. It's a premium product, and it will just directly replace what you have, and it'll be like nothing ever changed. You just can sleep better at night.
Right. What about the manifold? Do y'all have the one that slides together and don't have the felt in between them?
Yep, it's the only kind we sell. I just got through doing the polishing on about 20 cat manifolds over the last 2 days, and they just came out of the coating house this evening. Actually,
Okay.
we'd sold so many of them. There's like 5 people here waiting this evening because my wife had told them, hey, yeah, they'll be done with a bunch of them this evening. And a whole bunch of people came here, and I was wrapping them up in plastic and putting them in boxes and handing them to people. They're putting them in the back of their cars. It was hilarious.
Wow.
It's been really cool, man. The response of people just believing in the stuff we're doing and getting stuff from us has been crazy. I mean, people are coming here to the shop because they can't wait to get what we're, they don't want to wait for us to send it to them and whatever else. It's been a lot of fun, but it's pretty funny this evening when I finished all those manifolds. There's just a whole bunch of people waiting here in the parking lot for us to walk out. They're hot off the press, quite literally,
Well, you're doing something right. Everybody's waiting on it. What? How far are you out right now on auto frames? If I brought you a truck.
Well, after this, so I mean, here's something that people don't realize is we will open up our doors for about 30 days, and we will intake engines, allow people to get on our board, and then when those 30 days are up, no matter how much we're tempted to, we shut it off. And that was the 15th of this month we shut it off, and so many people brought us engines that it's probably going to take us 90 days to get them done.
And that's how many you're doing in 90 days?
We average an engine a day.
Okay. Well, I'm just one man, one truck operation. That's why I was curious.
So going
everybody that I know around the
going forward, here's what we're going to offer, because we're so busy with everything. We're trying to maneuver ourselves into a position where we're going to offer short blocks, long block plus, our longevity build, our performance build, and our elite build. You'll have 6 options you can call, and we will give you one of those 6 options and give us your core and grab one of those 6 options from us. I think we'll be able to better serve our customer base by having all these options available. And we're no longer, after this, we're no longer going to be taking engines from people to rebuild theirs. It's too much.
Well, mine's got to come out anyways. I got a rear structure leaking. When I had a clutch put in it, they replaced the rear main seal in it twice. And they said Cat will not warranty again. Well, I know they're full of crap, and they told me to pretty much just piss off and go on. So
That's been a couple of years ago, and I'm still leaking oil out the rear main.
Wow. We just warrantied a front and rear
So,
main
yeah.
seal yesterday and today on a truck. We rebuilt it 2 months
Well-
ago, and they're both leaking already. And we took it apart. We can't find anything wrong with the seals, so I'm seeing if the parts companies are gonna stand behind those seals or not. We'll see. But
Right.
I'm standing behind
Well,
it. But
right. Your what's your big build that you do that's got everything in it? New head. Like I said, this head I did have checked out when I built it at 400,000 and stuff. So we're pushing 800,000 on this build now. I don't know. Like I said, I'm running $1,200,000 on the injectors, turbo, water pumps have been replaced, air compressor's been replaced, but I know I'm getting close.
yeah, so what we offer is a short block. A short block is going to be a new block, new crank, rods, and pistons. All of everything we offer comes with the out of frame kit with it, so you don't have to buy any extra gaskets or anything. It's all there. Our long block is the exact
Right.
same thing, but with the cylinder head and head bolts installed. Our long block plus is the exact same thing as that, but with the front and rear structure on it. It has the oil cooler, water pump, oil pump on it, and the valve train components. Kind of like what Worldwide does with those DD15s. Very similar. And then our complete builds start out with our longevity build, and then we have a performance build, and then we have an elite build. If you want, I'll just real quick.
Now,
I'll just go ahead and tell everyone because people are going to ask. The longevity build is a stock build. It's going to be at the highest horsepower rating that engine would have came as stock. Doesn't matter, what engine you have, N14, Cummins, Detroit, whatever, or Cat, whatever the top horsepower rating that engine came as is what you're going to get from us as a stock build. That's going to come with every single thing: ECM, wiring harness, everything's new from the crank to the cam, flywheel to the dampener. And it's going to come all complete. The only things we don't provide is the fan hub, power steering pump, and the AC pump. Those are all 3 truck specific items, so we don't provide those. You're gonna the reason we call it the longevity build is because you get a coated kit, the ceramic pistons, Teflon rods and mains, and you're gonna have a ceramic manifold, ceramic turbo. If you want to step up to a performance build, we're gonna push the envelope on that horsepower. Let's use a 6NZ as an example. A 6NZ, what we would change on that would be we would go to monotherm pistons, flow matched injectors, stage 3 head instead of a stage 2. You're gonna have performance manifold, performance turbo. If you want to go to an elite build, that's one step above that. You're going to get all the things that I just mentioned on the other 2, but we're going to isotropic super finish your valve springs, your wrist pins, your rocker shafts, and your rods, and we're going to balance the entire rotating assembly to 0.001 grams. Flow matched injectors, all of that stuff, and your cylinder head's going to have Teflon coated bearings in it as well.
what is that one? The price on that one?
Yep, 74,000.
Holy cow!
Yep. So we start out.
What's the one that's?
So we start out at I think our short block is 14 or 16, somewhere in there. Our long block is 26, I think, 28. Our long block plus is the high 30s. Our longevity build is in the mid 50s. The performance builds in the mid to low 60s, and then the elite build is in the low 70s.
All right. Y'all don't have. You've got some people in other states that are working with you on your kit to build motors in other states for you.
Yes, we're building a conglomerate of different shops, like hopefully Worldwide will get on board with us too, but we have shops in Kentucky and a couple other states. that will start work that are starting to work with us, where we're sourcing their parts for them, and then we're supporting them. We're picking out shops that we know have good reputations for aftercare. So, care about their warranty, care about their integrity, and they have pricing that's not absolutely asinine. This is what we wanted to do from the very beginning, and this all got pushed by the side as well. This is another thing that really irritated us is when we were first started all this stuff. We wanted to have this network of guys that all work together, and we presented a way to make that happen, and that just kind of got flushed down the toilet. They weren't interested in doing any of that. So we're able to go back and start over and try and do that, where we have, 20, 30, 40 shops around the United States, where when somebody calls and says, hey, I'm in New York, I'm looking to get an overhaul done, and be like, hey, I know the guys. And then the added benefit of that is if somebody's in Michigan and they had their engine built by guys in our conglomerate in Florida, and they're in Michigan, they're like, hey, my water pump went out. I'm like, I know we're going to send you over here to Worldwide. They're going to help you out because they're part of our group of guys, and we're going to know in advance Worldwide isn't going to try and charge you $4,000 to change a water pump, right? We're all going to have like a working relationship of, here's kind of the standard. A water pump is a 3-hour job, and we'll overnight a water pump to them, so there's no expense there, and they're just going to throw it on for you, and then the original shop can pay them for that, or whatever it might be, because that's the way we already do our warranty in here, and it works out great. And it gives us an opportunity to stand behind everything that we do without killing ourselves. So in the ideal world, and we're working hard to make this the real world, that's what it's going to look like in the near future. We just got to get people like old Jason and Joe to get on board.
You got anybody around Nashville, Tennessee?
I got guys in Kentucky. That's as close as I can get you. I got guys in Georgia, guys in Kentucky. And that's about all we have right now. We got some guys in Texas that are all getting on board with us and becoming part of our inner workings. So sent so I like it. It's K2 Diesel. The guys in Kentucky are K2 Diesel. They're awesome guys, super honest guys. In fact, their pricing's a little too low. We've had to tell them I have helped them out with multiple warranties in the past. Help them to discern whether it's something that they really needed to stand behind and whatnot. And from what I've seen, they've stood behind everything that they needed to 100%. So great guys there, K2 Diesel. I actually had him on the show not too long ago. So
okay. Well, I ain't gonna keep you. I know there's other people wanting to ask questions. I appreciate you taking my call.
Yes, sir. Good luck out there.
Thank you, sir. You have a good night.
Bye. The power of social media. That's how.
Lucas over there, K2 Diesel. He's awesome people. We talked to Lucas quite a bit.
Yeah, he really is a good guy. Yep. Like he genuinely wants to make sure that he's doing the right thing. Like it's not easy to find. Not easy to find for sure. Yeah, we've already sent quite a bit of work his way because we don't have the intake here. Yeah, that promotion that we did a little bit ago, Joe.
Yeah.
It is hard to quantify how many engines are in this shop right now. It is unfucking real.
On the 27,000 one?
Yeah, the 27,999.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable how many people brought us engines. We got at least 90 days worth of work before we can get rid of all of them. It's crazy. Do you offer short and long and whatever builds on B models? Absolutely, man. I have 5 B models here waiting to get built. Just waiting to decide what we're going to build them into. Anyway, probably better go back to the callers. Did you guys see that that spacer plate or that stiffener plate for the Cummins that we just started selling, Joe?
Yeah, I seen that lady put out the video. I seen her video like 8 months ago.
Yeah, I reached out to them a while back and had them send me a sample and talk to them about their reasoning behind it. And we tried one out, and boy, it makes a lot of sense to me, you know, especially where you see the failure over and over on those Cummins on number 5, and to a lesser extent on number 6, and that's where the girdle stops. And just understanding why the ISX fails the way that it does because of the mid stop where it sits on the ledge there. Is it a miracle product? No. Does it help substantially? I really think it does. I mean, you're really strapping that bottom of that engine really tight there and eliminating a bunch of that torsional fatigue going on. I think I'm becoming a quick believer in that product. That product's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to keep watching on that one on the reviews and stuff on it. As far as the torsional vibration, so Detroit, DD, we don't run any block stiffener plate at all on that. We don't have like dropped liners, and we've got a lower mid stop on that counter bore as well on the DD platform, and that don't have any issue. I don't know if it's the block more, you know, with the counter bores on the ISX, or if the vibrational torsion is coming into effect.
On the fucking ISX, when you got that liner in there, it sits on the ledge right here, and that is it. There's nothing supporting it top and bottom. When that piston's going up and down, and you look on any liner, the whole liner is going in and out and flexing like crazy. It is unbelievable. They flex so much, that's why they get cavitational erosion, because the flexing on them puts so much pressure on the wash on the coolant, it creates bubbles that explode so hard it actually chips metal out of the liner, right? So you got to imagine if you're only supported in the middle, it's going like this, and they just walk the fuck out of those liners and they fall down. Well, if you're supporting the bottom with that, and those damn ladder plates are freaking 3/8 inch thick steel. I mean, it's literally like a 2-man carry. The thing is unreal. That is absolutely going to help with that torsional fatigue of that vibration. Absolutely going to help. And I really think that they're onto something, that number 5 is the one that always takes that piston and turns it sideways and slams into the damn liner, because that's right where that stiffener plate, the factory stiffener plate, stops right there. And there's no more support for that torsional fatigue. I really think they're onto something. But anyhow, don't take my advice too much. I'm selling the damn thing.
I tore apart a ISX today, and the bottom pan rails was destroyed where the block stiffener sat on the pan rails. They were fretting. There was fretting. I've never seen one so bad.
We were talking about you because we were talking about that block stiffy plate and the vibrational torsion, and we seen some fretting on the oil pan rails.
Yeah, that I've talked to the old man that designed that thing several times. I actually talked to him today. His daughter's taking it over because he's just so far past his prime, and she doesn't really know what to do with it, right? He wants to keep the legacy going of that thing, but she's not. But so we've just stepped in and they're kind of just handing it over to us to do all the marketing for him and all that, and I'm happy to help him out. So,
well, I'm building a 2250. We just tore it down, so send us one. We'll let you know.
Yeah, there you go. The other product that we have that, our best seller, what we sell more of than any other like individual product, is that thermostat. that ISX thermostat. It is unbelievable. We sell dozens of them every day, and more than any other product, we've had feedback on that product, and the feedback on that oil thermostat for the ISX has just been freaking so phenomenal. Everybody loves that thing so much. That is such a cool product. That Bryant invented and patented there. That product is so cool. Do we make that thermostat for the X15? Abso-fucking-lutely. Everything with a Cummins on it, we got one. Anyway, let's go back to the callers here. What's that?
Not much difference on the internal parts. The piston sleeve might be different, but
yeah, right. You have two different oil thermostats. Unfortunately, it's kind of a pain in the ass. And there's some crossover there, so a guy's got to tell us his engine serial number. They're so easy to install, though. We had a guy come here today. He bought 5 of them from us, but asked us to install one in his truck while he was here picking it up. So I sent my nephew out there, and I was like, how much do I charge him? Because I have never put one in, but I was like, how much do I charge him for it? He's like, 30 minutes? It took him 28 minutes, and he had it done. So he was pretty accurate. They're really fucking easy to put in, man. 28 minutes? Come on. That's pretty cool. I thought it would take him longer than that, but 28 minutes, he predicted it right. I know some of them are a little harder than others, but all of them are, hour maybe. So anyhow, Igor, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, I got a 579 with a 3406 in it, and I have a weird situation. When I'm pulling a long hill going up, or if I'm going down an engine brake, my coolant line goes on. It goes on for a few seconds. Once it straightens out, it's fine. I've checked the coolant. It's level. I overfill it. It helps a little bit more when it's overfilled. But it does it all the time. I don't know what's going on. I was wondering if there's an air pocket somewhere, how to find it. I don't know where to start searching.
I had a Freightliner that did the same thing when I would go downhill. Just the placement of the low coolant sensor, when I'd go downhill, it would not cover enough of it that the check engine light would come on. It was super annoying. But most of the time when a guy is having a problem like yours, it's because it's actually pushing too much coolant out. And you have to continually add coolant to it?
I'll add coolant here and there, once in a few months. Maybe I'll add a little bit, or maybe a quart. Doesn't really take much. So the full story, I got it from, I got it with the OPT warranty. So it was a brand new truck or a brand new engine, I guess, rebuilt, 4-year unlimited warranty from CAT. And right away, the coolant tank was a little dirty. I asked them about it. They said it's fine, maybe some junk in there. And I started getting those low coolant warnings. They wouldn't stop. The truck wouldn't shut up. I started overfilling it. They went away. And I blew my radiator. I replaced it. I replaced the tank. And it's still dirty in there. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I was thinking the air compressor. Somehow pushing more air with higher RPMs in there, somehow coolant going somewhere, but then it shows back up once it levels out. So that's what I've been dealing with.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at there is when you were telling the story, it's most likely pushing more coolant out than you think it is, because you probably have an underlying problem. And if it's making your coolant dirty, you certainly need to get a combustion gas tester and see if it's actually because you're putting combustion gas into your cooling system, which from everything you're telling me, I'm going to guess yes.
Yeah, it failed. I did the combustion test. It failed it.
Yeah,
But
okay, okay.
I did an oil test.
Here's the okay.
I did the oil test. Yeah, but there's no coolant in oil.
It doesn't matter. Either your head
Oh.
gasket's messed up, or even more likely the cylinder head's compromised.
I don't know how to make Cat warranty it. I've taken it to them. They said nothing's wrong with it. They've asked me about multiple coolant low coolant warnings. They were trying to imply that I'm running it low, and I told them that no, it happens every time. It happens every day. I pull a hill, it goes on. I go downhill, it goes on. I have to overfill it for it not to do. So somehow I'm going to need to
Brother
get
man,
it looked at.
it doesn't matter what they're telling you. That engine's compromised.
That sucks. I'm still out. Yeah. I have another question on a different subject. I did get me a different Detroit. I have a Peterbilt with a Series 60, and my buddy was telling me about the HKs, BKs. Is there a difference in those, or is it all just doesn't matter? The letters.
Yeah, there's a difference in those Detroit diesels. That's going to be the oil piston cooling nozzles on the BK, HK, and PK make
premium
it
block.
Premium block.
There you go.
Oh, that's all it is. Just the block and the oil cooling.
Well, yeah, it's the piston cooling nozzles are machined into the block, where your other models don't have them at all.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the lower horse.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you for your help. I guess I need to find the time to fix the other one so that I could put this one to the shop. I don't know how long that's going to take.
All right. Well, good luck there, brother. We appreciate the call.
All right. You have a good night. Bye.
The Detroit diesel answers we can get.
Yeah, for sure. You guys were all over that one. What is the operating temperature for a D-Deck 3 12.7 Detroit? For pretty much any diesel engine, it's 180 and above.
180, 185. What's the thermostat?
Yeah. All right, brothers. Let's go to the next caller. We still got 30 minutes here. 3 people on the line. Paul, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hi, Aaron. This is Paul in Albuquerque. I've followed you since way back in North Dakota days. Anyways, I've got a NSX cat motor, 625 stock. It's 2007 Peterbilt, and I'm losing. I can just pedal it along, and it'll get down to about 10 or 12 psi, and it'll dwindle down. It'll just die like it's a dead pedal. Feels like fuel, but it's not fuel. I went through the process of deduction. The only sensor I've got Cat ET, so I plug it in, and I'm getting no codes. What it's doing is the only sensor I could come up with that doesn't throw a code is the barometric pressure. Cat has now obsoleted that sensor number, so I went out on the web and found 2 different manufacturers that make a sensor. I've switched both those out. It's still doing the same problem. It's like a barn sour horse. It doesn't like leaving the house, but runs like hell coming home. So I don't know if you've encountered that low pressure, low power issue.
Somewhere I got lost on what you were saying. I think it was somewhere between old Jason taking his second shit during this show and and but seriously, so what? Explain again what it's doing. Just the first part there. What is it doing again?
So it just feels like I got a dead pedal all of a sudden. I mean, it'll run. It runs really well, and if you're just cruising down the road and like rolling off of a hill, it starts to, the boost pressure goes down. I'm watching the boost pressure, and once it gets down to about 14 psi, it just slowly dies off to about 2, and you got to put your hoof into it all the way to the floor for it to pick its head back up, and then it'll shoot all the way up to 48 to 50 pounds of boost again, run like a scalded dog until it, does it again. But
okay, that definitely 100% sounds like a sensor issue.
I would concur, but it's through CAT ET. It's not giving me any codes for any sensors.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought was just go to barometric.
That's right. But your boost pressure sensor, I was just talking about this, it won't throw a code because it has to have an electrical problem for it to throw a code. And that boost pressure sensor, just like your barometric pressure sensor, both of those run on a diaphragm. Okay. And that diaphragm,
right. Mm-hmm.
You ever take that boost pressure sensor out, they're almost always completely full of soot and gunk. And if they get too full of soot and gunk, they're not able to read what the actual pressure is. And it will stop fueling because it has to read that. It has to know how much air is going in to know how much to fuel. And if it thinks it's not getting correct boost, it's going to just keep dropping that fuel while it's trying to figure out what the air pressure is.
Gotcha. I wasn't aware that the boost pressure sensor wouldn't throw a code either. Otherwise, I would change it out. I changed out my wiring harness, thinking maybe it was something funky in there, no. But I didn't find a bad wire or anything else, so I will put a new boost sensor in and start it tomorrow. It's just progressively across 4 months just gotten worse and worse, and I gross about 147,000, so I don't have any patience for no power.
Sure, and just the way exactly what you're describing. I mean, there's a myriad of things that we could go talk about what it might be, but the exact thing that you're describing, screams boost pressure sensor.
Okay, gotcha. I appreciate it. And on another note, I have one of your brand new manifolds. I'm just waiting for it to get ceramic coated, and it'll be in the mail soon.
It may be done. I did a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. What's another question is, what about twin turbos? Are you going to do anything for ACERT motors?
Yeah, we
Is
have.
that the thought process?
I coated 20 twin turbos in the last 2 days.
Of your own?
Yep, high and low pressure turbos. So
okay,
a lot of this is stopgap, right? So there's a company that is madly producing manifolds for us that we will have to market in. We're getting 10 of them in a week, and then we have to wait 30 days for them to get us a couple hundred of them. And we're going to have manifolds made for us. It's not sustainable for me to keep doing them, but now I'm able to control, here's exactly what I want, right? Like, I don't want a manifold with coatings on it. I want a manifold that's finished on the inside, right? Like I'm doing here. So eventually I have to have other people make me all this stuff, right? And same thing with the turbos. We have a place in Michigan coating turbos for us, and I'm coating them, and we're not keeping up. So we're in talks with the manufacturer to get the housings coated before they get them to us. And of course, they're going to send us prototypes. We're going to put them on trucks. We're going to have guys run the shit out of them and make sure they're as good as what we're making here in house. Eventually we will be able to have all of this stuff in mass. So it's just not sustainable. I mean, I think we coated 50 turbos here in the last 3 days, and we had 30 of them done in Michigan. And my sons are telling me that we're basically out already. I'm never going to keep up. So, but the unique thing is we're able to reject things that don't meet our standard. So, I have to have all this stuff done commercially, but it's going to be to the standard as if it was done right here, or they can fuck off and I'll just keep doing them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for answering my questions. Keep up the good work and appreciate it.
All right, sir, you have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. So a guy in the comments section here says, what are your thoughts on Mimo parts? Mimo is, what's that?
All right, there we go. I got what I wanted.
Anyway, what are my thoughts on Mimo parts? Mimo parts are all made in Germany. I really like their parts. I use Mimo parts, or Mimo supplies me with my parts to build, or they were at least supplying me with my parts to build DD15 kits and PACCAR kits. And we're not sure if we're going to continue to use Mimo for that, but for now, that's who we're using. They're the ones that send me they don't send me everything, but they send me the liners and the pistons. They're made in Germany. Mimo's not made in Germany, but the liners and the pistons that they use are made in Germany. So I really like them. They make super high quality shit. Are all Mimo kits that way? No, not necessarily, but the two that I use for the DD15 and the PACCAR kits that we coat and sell here, Mimo actually supplies me the German-made liners and pistons. Anyway, how we doing, guys?
Mimo.
You never heard of Mimo?
No.
Really? They're not very well known. They're very inexpensive, which is a lot. One of the reasons they're a turnoff for a lot of people. You know how that goes. You know, the least expensive guy is the one that everybody's scared to use. Mimo is actually owned by M&D, who actually owns Highway and Heavy Parts.
Okay.
Oh.
Coincidentally. You guys would probably be surprised how much of the engine parts world is owned by just one or two people. And you're buying different brands, and it's all been swallowed up by big conglomerate. Anyhow, back to the phones. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, Aaron, it's Clay Rosenberg calling. Got a 99 N14, 2000 Peterbilt 379. Having a heck of a time with oil. Losing about a gallon a week. The shop I take to near and where I'm from, there's no problem with when you're going through a gallon or two a day when it becomes an issue. Well, that's not how I like to do things. There's obviously something going on, and I have no clue what it is. They steamed the engine. The only thing that's happened in about 25, 30,000 miles is there's a little bit of residue, wet residue on the driver's side rear of the motor. I believe I'm blowing it out the blower, the blow tubes. But I can't for a fact pinpoint where it's coming from. I'm just wondering if you have any idea.
How many miles do you put on in a week?
roughly 2,000, 2,500. On a busy week, 3,000, 3,500.
So you're burning 5 gallons of oil or 4 gallons of oil every 10,000 miles?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, your engine's blown the fuck up.
That's probably real close. I mean, it runs strong. Everything, it runs great, but I just don't like the fact that it's blowing so much oil.
If you don't have any leaks, barring external leaks, right? And if you're using that kind of oil, I would hope you would know that you have bad leaks, right? You certainly should know
Right.
if you had bad leaks. Let's go everything, the whole level playing field here. You're just using 4 gallons of oil plus in 10,000 miles. That is a blown up engine that ends with a rot out the side of the block very, very quickly, because if you're putting that much combustion gas into the crankcase, you are completely destroying that oil incredibly fast.
Well, and that's, I guess, kind of what the one shop was telling me, that, you know, it's pushing it out because when I do a fresh oil change, it doesn't do anything for the first week. It doesn't use a drop of oil for the first week, week and a half, and then it starts depleting the oil. Then it starts blowing it out.
That's a blown up engine.
Would that be a sunken liner, or that's just completely? It's just basically shot.
Broken rings, completely roasted out liner, something like that.
Okay. I heard you talk about prices on the Elite build for the Cat. Where are you at with the Elite on the N14?
So the Elite's not something that, like a kit, we're not going to sell that kit. It's too the amount of work that goes into making an Elite kit, an Elite build, all the isotropic super finishing and the balancing. You know, we have a machinist balance. I mean, it's so much work. That's an engine that we offer.
Right.
We would never offer the stuff.
That's what I mean. That's yeah. I'm not looking for a kit. I'm looking to bring the truck to you and have you do it.
Well, we would only offer an exchange, but I mean, like, we have everything for N14, all the performance stuff for N14s, manifolds, turbos, overhaul kits that are coated and all that kind of stuff. But and we have short blocks, long block plus, longevity build, performance build, and coincidentally an Elite build that we can offer for that. But going forward, we're trying not to take any more overhauls of other people's engines. We're just trying to be done with that phase of our life.
Okay, yeah, because I reached out on Friday and the girl said I could get on the list, but then she never returned my call. Or she never called me. She said she would call me back later, and she never called. So I kind of figured you were done with that.
Yeah, that's probably what was going on.
What would the price? What would the price be on the Elite build for this?
I don't know. We'd have to look at that. It's a little bit less than a Cat, but that Elite build's like. And here's the thing that people need to realize: if you're buying an engine from us, everything is brand new, right? Everything. We go through the
right,
and it comes with comes with everything. You'd probably be looking at 72, 70, somewhere in there for that Elite build.
Okay. All right. And what's the best way to get something set up? Just call your service department.
Yep. They'll happily sell you something.
All right. I appreciate your time, Aaron.
All right. Have a good night, brother.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, you know all those engines that I bought from you guys?
Yeah.
A little while back, I bought all those Cats up from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just stripped all those down and sent them all out to the machine shop yesterday.
Nice.
Well, by the end of next month, we should have 60 blocks here ready to go.
Well, you know I got more for sale.
Do you?
Oh,
rat
yeah.
bastard! You told me you sold all the ones you had.
We're constantly buying and selling engines, getting cores.
You guys should send me over a list of all the cats you have. See if we can wheel and deal again.
I had that one guy. He said, "You got any cats, or did you sell them all to Aaron?"
Hack Nation, do you take Canadian callers? Canadians call this show all the time, man. I mean, I don't even have a way to just, well, I guess I could filter out, oh, this guy's from Canada. Fuck him. We're not going to take that call. Oh, man. That's funny. All right, Sean, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you? It's a Detroit question. Maybe we can get the Worldwide boys involved.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir. So my 12.7 is taking longer starts, like upon the initial cold startup, and it's puffing white smoke. And then after that, once it's running, it's fine.
The initial startup, it's puffing black
Are you
smoke.
there?
Hard startup.
He's
Yep.
puffing white smoke or black smoke? I thought you said white.
Yep, white.
Oh,
White, and it's hard starting?
It takes a while for it to start, longer than it's ever taken.
Well, I think
Probably 20 seconds, 30 seconds worth of cranking, enough for the batteries.
I think I know what's wrong with it, but I thought I would see what the Worldwide boys say is wrong with it.
leaking fuel injector. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, he's on the right track. You're losing prime,
Yeah.
so that's our first first clue, right? Go ahead,
Yep.
Go ahead, Jason.
Could definitely be an injector cup issue going on, leaking a little coolant down there on top of the piston.
Well, you're not having any. It's not vapor locking on you, right? It turns over fine. Just takes a long time to start.
Yeah, correct. It turns over fine. It doesn't sound any different. It just takes longer to start.
So here's most likely what's going on, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, of course, but in my opinion, the return line check valve on the back of the cylinder head has been compromised. It's gone bad. So when it just sits there, it's able to bleed back, and it's draining out your fuel system. When you go to start it, it's taking a long time for the fuel to get all the way back up through the fuel rifle. Once it starts up, you still have a lot of air in there. That's all the white smoke, and then the problem goes away.
Gotcha.
You need to replace that. It's on the back of the cylinder head on the return line.
10-4. That makes sense. That is all I have.
All right, brother. Good luck.
Yep, thanks.
Yep, bye. You guys ever work on the DT466?
No, not in house. We haven't built one.
Yeah, I did some parts changing on a few.
As far as like injectors and running overhead and rack and all that shit, we haven't.
I have, but I've only ever done one, so I don't know if I can remember that much about them. Anyway, another 12-7 Detroit. Larry, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, Aaron, how are y'all?
Fucking amazing, man. What can we do for you?
Oh man, listen, I got a little bit of a different thing here. I got a Detroit question. Everybody talks about horsepower. I don't give a shit about horsepower. How much torque can I get out of this? It's a 99, 12.7, V8.4. You know, just got plenty of transmission, got an RTLO 13, 18.913, all that kind of stuff.
Do a lot of heavy work here and pull peanut hoppers or grind trailers out of the field. Average 100, 105,000. And I'm way across the world from you. I'm over here in the corner of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida.
Well, I think the worldwide guys have all those specs in front of them, but I'm pretty sure that it's practically impossible to get over 1650 with that.
Yeah, like on the BK like 1850.
Yeah, it's a BK. It's a 99 model block.
You can get as high as
That's a 99.
You'd have to be running what, at least 500 horsepower to be able to hit 1850.
Well, it's 500 now. That's factory 500, 12.7. Then a 2000 Classic short hood. And the other question is, are you doing the billet turbos?
For that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some kind of performance turbo for that. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I just know that Bennett Truck Center brought by about 30 of them, and made me code them, whipping me like a slave. So I know we have something for the 12.7. I didn't look at it too hard.
And I got
so many of them are coming through here.
Right. And I'm a big aftermarket fan. And the other question I had for you, I got to build the engine. Something has went wrong with a cup because I'm getting compression in the fuel. It's blowing the fuel back. So it quit with me, and I, drug it home. And like I said, it's blowing the fuel back through the system. It runs on starting fluid, runs fine, sounds fine. You can take the fuel line off, and it'll blow your hair off. So I know something went wrong with the cup.
Yeah, and they
or somewhere in that something in that area. You know what I'm saying?
We've seen a lot of problems with injector cups on your 12.7s when guys put too much horsepower to them. I'm not saying that's what you've done, but that is the fail.
No, it's factory. It's factory, and I'm the only guy that drives it, and I know that don't make no difference. You can't regulate the torque with an electronic pedal, but you know what I'm saying? It's my truck. I'm on operator. Have been since I quit Freightliner. I worked with Freightliner 19 years there in Dothan, Alabama. So, and the other question I had was about the steel piston. There's a couple of IPD or somebody like that's got the steel pistons out. And the question I had about that was, a lot of people say, well, the 500 and all of them, they'll sling a rod, this, that, and other. You and I both know what happens is they drop a valve, kicks the piston sideways, skirt runs down the rod, and it, the clearance is so tight it pokes a hole in the block. It's not that it threw a rod. It's what happened is it dropped the valve, broke the skirt off the piston, and when it rides down the rod, pop, there you got a hole.
Yeah, same thing that happens on the ISXs.
Right. But people say, well, they throw a rod. No, it didn't throw a rod. But what is your thoughts on the steel piston?
So I use IPD for all of my B model builds because of because they're the guys. They're the guys that make steel pistons where aluminum pistons were your only option otherwise.
Right, and the steel piston that I'm looking at is all one piece. It's not an articulated piston.
Right, it's a monotherm.
Right, monotherm. They years ago, the first one I ever seen was down in Panama City, Florida. We worked on a marine engine, and that's what it had in it. That was the first one I had ever seen, I guess, 15, 18 years ago.
Monotherm and friction welded pistons absolutely shit all over your two-piece pistons. We are, what did they tell me? We're 40 days away from having monotherm pistons for ourselves.
Okay.
That's our big thing.
So you recommend them?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Right now, 6NZs are kind of off the table for when we release kits here in 3 weeks because I want them to have monotherm pistons, and our monotherm pistons aren't here yet.
Right. We got cats laying all over the place down here. All these woods are full of old cat motors laying around.
Well, soon enough.
These guys buy they buy these trucks from people like Wallace Sanders and whatnot, and they put them in the logwoods. And of course, the truck, they junk it out,
well, there's really nothing wrong with the motor other than it's got a lot of miles on it. Well, they just throw it in the woods and grab another one. We got cats laying around down here like cigarette butts in your parking lot.
Scoop them all up and bring them to me.
Yeah.
You're a long way, brother, and I'd have to pull them out. But any rate, like I said, I got to build this engine, and I was looking at the monotherm, and I wanted your input on it. I'm gonna do your manifold. I believe in that, and like I said, I'm a big aftermarket believer. I've built a lot of engines with aftermarket. Nothing wrong with them. But I was kind of wondering about that, where you were on the turbos. Nothing super like stage one, just something a little better than what's on it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think you're
And
I think you're on the right track there, brother.
And the deafeners, do y'all do them or no?
There's not a single thing on any engine that we don't have.
Okay.
Quite literally.
Okay. It's like this motor's got like 816,000 on it. It's all original. I bought the truck out of Corning, Iowa. It was the one on the truck. Man passed away, and it's been sitting in the barn forever. And I got a really good deal on it. And of course, it didn't run long. It's been sitting up for like 6.5 years. So I'm sure it's got cup problems. That's one of the things that plagues the Detroit. But I'm gonna build it. It's got, like I said, it's got 800 on it. And I'm 59 years old now, so that'll be my last truck. So I just wanted your thoughts on that.
Yep, do her right, brother. And good luck out there.
And you guys keep doing what you're doing there. And me and we follow y'all, and I like what you're doing, man. I really do.
I appreciate that. Have a good night, brother.
Thanks, sir.
Yep,
Bro.
bye. Okay, so here in the comment section, guy says, I have a 2016 Cascadia DD13 coming up on 1 million miles. Is it reasonable to get it overhauled, or will I be better off investing in another truck with a 60 series or a Cummins? Well, and I wanted to get the Worldwise boys' input on it, but here's my input. Part of the problem with the DD15, first, the beautiful thing about the DD15 platform is the fact that you're coming up on 1 million miles. That makes it a good engine. I don't care what anyone says. That makes it a good engine by default. Okay. Because you are one of many people that have the same story. Their DD15 gets them past 1 million miles. Yep. The problem with the DD15 is when it comes time to overhaul the fucking thing, two things happen. Number one, it costs more than the damn truck is worth because the engine ran for so long that now the truck's not worth nothing anymore. Right. And everybody wants $40,000, $50,000 to overhaul that goddamn thing. Number two, there's not a lot of places that should be touching that engine. And half the time, the damn thing comes apart after you get it built. And they don't do nothing for you. Right? So it's a risky engine once it comes to the end of its life. Fortunately, we have the Worldwide boys on here. And those guys... Yeah, like if you came to me and said, hey, will you rebuild my DD13? I'll say, sure. And I'll tell the wife, get them a quote for this DD13. And exactly what my wife would do is she would call Joe over at Worldwide and she'd say, hey, how much for a drop-in for that DD13 so we could rebuild this thing? Because quite literally their price point is so good and the quality of their work is so good that I would never consider doing it in-house because it'd cost me more than if I just went through them. And I don't know how you guys do it. It's none of my business. But you guys provide an awesome product for a good price. What would a guy be looking at? What would he be looking at to get a long block plus drop-in engine from you guys for that DD13?
Long block plus, I tell customers 23,000. Office lady tells me it's 22,500 plus an exchange. We charge a $5,000 exchange. We can work a deal with the exchange price on that. But pretty much basically on the rebuilds, we're looking at 22,500 on a long block plus. That's going to come valve covered oil pan, front main seal to rear main seal. We have remanufactured injectors in it. DD15, we buy a brand new oil pan, brand new oil pump.
Suction manifold.
Yeah, the suction manifold.
Nobody can touch that. Nobody can. And here's the thing. You guys' price points. So your guys' price point fucks. Okay, it's awesome. It screams shitty work is what it screams. But I wouldn't buy one from anybody else personally. So I mean, there's the answer to your question, in my opinion. If you're gonna go out and buy another truck, you're gonna spend a hell of a lot more than that. Number one, and you're probably gonna buy something. You know, you're looking at a 60 Series Detroit or something like that. It's gonna need to be rebuilt soon too, probably. Or if you buy one that got rebuilt and came with paperwork, how does that ever turn out for anybody? Right? Blows up in 20,000 miles and whatever else. At least if you got 1 million miles out of that thing, do another drop in, you might be looking at getting another 1 million miles out of that thing. I wouldn't consider doing anything else. And if you're talking about repowering it, I talk more for every 100 people that call me to repower a truck, I talk 99 of them out of it. It is such a cost prohibitive venture to repower a truck. It's insane. And most trucks, by the time guys get to the end of that life, let's say on a DD13 or DD15, for example, and they're like, well, I'm just going to repower it. You're going to be 70 grand into repowering that thing, and the truck ain't worth 70 grand no more. Right? So you guys are doing the Lord's work over there. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
really.
Even if you're going repowering into a Cat, I was talking to a guy that he's trying to pull ISX and repower into a Cat, and at the end of the day, he's 50,000-60,000 into repowering, and the truck's only worth an extra 10,000 having the Cat in it.
Well, I mean, and really, it costs more than that. I mean, just in conversion stuff, you're at 15 grand. So you know, to have the price point where you're talking about, you got to be putting a used engine in there. I mean, then what's the fucking point? Right?
To address the question, if it's worth it at 1 million miles, it's all we tell our customers. It's all up to what you have done to your truck. Just like you tell them, if it's clapped out piece of shit, no, it's probably not worth putting another 30 grand into it.
Right. No, for sure.
And then go buy pre-emissions.
All right. Well, we got we're coming to the end of the show here, or the show's over. But we got a couple callers. You guys want me to take them or
take them?
All right. The last two callers. If anybody else calls in, I'll.
What do you got?
I got a guy asking about what the lines are, the fuel lines on a N14, and told him brake lines.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry,
all that kind of stuff.
Flare, use some regular brake line, whatever size that is. I don't know if that was 3/8 on that N14. Flare out the fittings and run it.
Yep, that's all it is.
Yeah.
All right, we got Greg. Greg, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I got a 3406B model. I put in a 2000 Peterbilt 379. I pulled the ISX out of it, converted it. It runs real good, everything. What I wanted to know is I wanted to get a longevity build out of it. Would it be smarter to pull it out and bring it down to you to overhaul, or just swap it for another engine?
Well, I can't really tell you which one of those is smarter, because that kind of stuff's very subjective, depending on whatever situation you might be going on. I can just kind of tell you that going forward, we're planning on just offering option, drop-in options going forward. We really want to get away from dealing with the end user as much as we do. Not that I haven't appreciated it over the years, but it's too much. It's too much pressure. We do hundreds of engines a year. We have to find some way to relieve some of that pressure and get back some of our time. And the only way we can figure out to do that is just to provide drop-in engines from every category of a short block all the way to our elite build. So if you wanted a longevity build, that's all we were going to offer going forward. Is we'll offer you a whole ass engine you can drop in there, and you give us your old one.
Okay, so I'd send you my old one. Basically, just I pull mine. Mine's running and everything. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just getting tired. I'm just thinking about wanting to upgrade it. That's kind of where I was looking at it. Just basically just swapping engines, basically.
Sure, and we work with guys and we build guys engines all the time and send them to them, and then they pull their, they're still running their truck and they'll pull theirs out and send it back to us. So their downtime's just a couple of days.
Yep.
We can ship pretty much anywhere in the USA for anywhere between $900 and $1,200. It's incredibly affordable, and we pay to bring the core back.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds really good. I mean, I'll just gives me an answer what to do with it. Like I said, it runs really good and everything, but it's getting where it's starting to need to be overhauled. But that answers my question. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Just for the customer too, it's way better for the customer on the downtime to do it that way.
Oh man, what really, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And when we took in all these, just tell you a little story here. We took in all these, the promotion that we did, and we took in piles of engines from people. And one guy in particular, something with his paperwork got messed up, or he didn't pay his, the girls have this amount that they pay to get on the board and all that. And he didn't pay it right away, and he sent a check later, and it was like a couple weeks later we got the check, and we had so much going on here that it didn't get processed right away. And next thing you know, his engine's been here for a month and nobody's touched it, right? And he calls and he's yelling at me, and then I'm over there yelling at my wife, and then she's yelling at some office girl, and everybody's screaming and yelling at each other, and this guy's fucking my entire life up. And I was like, this is why we're not doing this anymore. This is why we're not going to be at somebody else's mercy. And if that guy would have called and I was like, what engine would you like to purchase from us today?
Yeah.
Life would be so much better, and he would have instantly had an engine and been on his way. Anyway, why is there no Hack Nation website? The reason there's no Hack Nation website is because I did a shit ton of research, and website sales generate less than 1% of sales in the industry that we're in. When I had turbos up on HHP's website, I ran a targeted ad. That targeted ad in 3 days produced 15,000 site visits for one sale. Answering our phones in our call center, we might sell 15 turbos an hour. That's why we don't have a website. It is literally a waste of fucking time. It's the same reason I don't run ads in the yellow pages. We do have one more caller. We'll get to him here in just a second. A guy asked, will Bennett do in-frames? Bennett Truck Center not only will not be doing in-frames, they actually closed their service shop a few days ago. They completely closed the doors on it because, again, guys, we have a call center with 5 people working in there. There's 2 more people training right now, and with that many people answering the phones, we're still missing 100 to 160 phone calls a day. They're having to focus all their energy on just dealing with supporting all the people that are using us to do their rebuilds. They don't have time. They don't have time anymore to have a service center. They're completely getting rid of it. From a business standpoint, it's much smarter for them because they're handling all of my sales. So anyway, we got this last caller. I did pick up another caller, but I had to drop him. We're not taking any more. We're already past our time. We have another 12-7 guy. Oh, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Same guy. Just ended up having another question. So this is my first time owning a 12.7 Detroit, and also first time running a truck with a pyro, and I cannot get it to go over 900 degrees. I did not know if that was normal. I'm only making 500 horsepower, I think.
What's the question?
He said he has a 12.7 Detroit, 500 horsepower, and he cannot get the pyro to go over 900 on the pyrometer. And he wanted to know if that was a problem.
I'm lost on that one. Got pyrometer questions.
It's not a problem. It's the furthest thing from a problem.
Well, that's what I figured too, but I just figured I know all these cat guys. I mean, I don't really know any Detroit guys anyways, so I can't really ask any of my friends or anybody. And I mean, I know it's good, but I just figure all these cat guys obviously are getting hot, so.
Yeah, I mean, 900 is optimal. That engine can go to 1100 and still not be alarming. 1200 is also a range that it could see. If you sustain 1200 for a long time at a low RPM and a hard pull, there is likelihood of some damage. But 900, there's never any danger at 900.
I was also told that a lot of guys like getting up to 900 to burn off carbon and stuff.
Well, I mean, that, believe it or not, that's not really an indicator of burning up carbon. Indicator of burning up carbon is how many times you can get your coolant temperature up hot enough. That's going to decide more of your combustion temperature than anything else. Running that truck up to 218 and getting that engine fan to come on as often as possible is going to do way more for burning off carbon than how hot you got the pyrometer.
I gotcha. Yeah, and I don't even, the coolant temp doesn't even go over 200 that I can tell on my gauge.
Well, hammer down.
It has never once gotten hot. I just thought I'd ask to make sure that was legit, or if I just had some
too legit to quit.
Gauges were wrong or what? Well, I'm glad to hear that because it's my first truck, so hopefully I bought a good one then.
Yep, go make some money, brother. Have a good night.
Yep, you too.
Yep, bye. All right, guys, that winds out the callers. Do you have any comments in the comment section you want to address, or?
I don't think I do.
He said, "What temp on the pyro should
what
he?"
temp on the pyro?
MXS single turbo.
Yeah, we're both answering the same question. On your twin turbo, what temp should you start worrying? Well, your twin turbo can go as hot as any of the other ones, but it is very unusual to see your temperature go over 900 degrees. They usually run around 800 degrees on your twin turbos. If you're consistently going over that, you probably have some kind of a problem. Is 600 to 800 on the pyro good on a 6NZ cat? It's not. I mean, guys always ask these kind of questions and then they'll name a specific engine. So much of every question is encompassed in every engine, right? There's not like a cat can't go over 900, but a DD15 can, or a Detroit can't go over 700, but a N14 can, all your diesel engines are going to run the same parameters. And if you're running above 1200, you're certainly looking to hurt things. Cat will tell you that a 6NZ can run at 1200, but I know from real world experience that 1200 sustained will damage the engine. 1100 you can sustain all day long. 1000's no problem. 900 no problem.
Got a guy that's DD16 any good? DD13, DD15, and the DD16 platform are all very similar. Different strokes for different folks from the DD13, DD15 to DD16. Heads and stuff, you know, comparable parts.
Is your stuff interchangeable between a DD13 and a DD16?
There are parts that are interchangeable. Some of the gearing could be, but as far as the top end from a DD13 to a DD15 is different. The head's a little bit shorter. And then from DD15 to DD16, you're basically all the same except for the crank and the rods.
The crank's different.
Yeah.
Is that because it has a different stroke? Huh.
Yeah. Different stroke, different rods also.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah. They usually manufacturers just pick that all up in the rod. If they had to get a different crank, that probably meant the axis on the rod was too extreme, so they had to go with a different crank as well. I'm just speculating. I have no clue.
Yeah. Yep. But them platforms were based off the Mercedes, the OM 471, 472, 473 platforms.
That's like the D13s, isn't it?
What's that?
Or no, that's the Volvo engine.
The Mercedes-Benz OM 471, 472, 473.
You know, I would never want to own a DD15 personally, but I'd probably consider it if I was friends, guys.
I thought we were friends.
He said the injectors are the same.
You get what I'm saying? No, that's a scary. It's a scary engine to own. It really is. It's like the PACCAR. You know, what a scary engine to own. When it takes a shit, your options are I'm going to get fucked or I'm going to get fucked really bad.
Yeah.
A PACCAR is really crazy because it's got fractured main caps.
Yeah, but I mean, we do a lot of fractured main caps. You know, Cummins has a lot of fractured main caps. It's not that unusual.
So Worldwide Diesel did a couple PACCARs. It's been a little over 7 years or so. We didn't have any luck with them, and we had to warranty out our ass, so we just stay away from them. Jason and I personally didn't build the two PACCARs, but Worldwide Diesel did have their hands in PACCARs a little over 7 years ago, and that's part of the reason why we've stayed away from it. Literature, tooling, and all that.
There's a little bit of comment thread going on here where guys are talking nostalgically about the 570 Signature 600 Cummins. And it's the best one out there, and they're great, blah, blah, blah. And I understand the nostalgia. The 570 is the 6NZ of the Cummins world. You know, it was the pre-emission-ish Cummins. But the reality of the 570 is it suffers from all the same problems that the 870 and 871 did after it. It still had shitty liner design. It still has all the same shortcomings as the ones after it. I don't think it was any better in any way, shape, or form. It just has that nostalgia to it like the 6NZ does. Your 6NZ is not a better platform than the the
Right.
Acerts that came after it, but it gets way more praise and acclaim, and it's really because of where it fell into the spectrum there. It's certainly not a better engine than the 2WS that came before it, but it gets set on this pedestal, and I don't agree that the 570 is some special engine any more than the 6NZ is. I'm not saying it's a bad engine, but I don't think it deserves the pedestal that it gets put on. But
That's why I
anyway,
hear
guys,
people talk about the 6NZ all the time, and it's 6NZ, and it's just about the date that it was produced.
yep. And here's the funny thing: that small span that they built 6NZs and the 99 6NZ. Do you know how many of them that there are? 500. There's 500 of them in existence that they built. And I would guess that less than 300 of them probably exist in the world. And it's a fucking unicorn. I owned one at one time, but I owned one at one time. I've never seen one since. I've never had one come through my shop ever. Never had one come through my shop. That's the real reason that 500 unit is why they're in their unicorn status, is why they get the reputation that they do. And there's lots of 6NZs, but only 500 of them are that unicorn one that everybody covets. And that permeated to 6NZ in general.
Got it.
But anyhow, guys, we've come to the end of the show. I probably better pretend like I have a family and get on back home. I appreciate you guys joining us. Appreciate you guys taking your time out to help as many people as you possibly could. Of course, this show is kind of good for some exposure, but it's still your time, and your time is valuable. You could have spent it doing 100 other things, and you decided to come on here and give your time to all these people and see how many people we could help. I want to make sure that you know that I appreciate that, and I'm sure this audience does as well. Thank you, guys.
We do
again,
it for you. We do it for you truckers out there. Honestly, man, we both grew up as kids wanting to be truckers and shit like that. And it's we're not rich. We're not doing it for to be millionaires. We're doing it for. I mean, of course, everybody's here for a paycheck, but trying to help people out.
Yep. Again, this is Worldwide Diesel. You guys can find them on TikTok, Facebook. I'm not sure what other platforms they're on, but they're very prevalent on those two platforms. Yeah, they're pretty easy to get a hold of. They're based out of Michigan. I use them for a lot of things. And when the show started, the comment section blew up with all kinds of people that have used them, and all of it was glowing reviews. They always get glowing reviews, and I think it's well deserved. Guys, give them a check out. They're great people. I think you can figure that out for yourselves. But again, guys, I appreciate you coming on the show. All the comment section, everybody that comes on here and helps every week. I appreciate all you people. Again, your time is also as valuable as everybody else's. The fact that you come here repeatedly to try and help us help people out says volumes of your character. And I certainly appreciate you. You all have a good night. Thank you very much for coming. We love you long time. Joe, Jason, I'll talk to you soon. See you guys on the flip.
Thanks, guys.